Okay, hello everybody. Today I want to make a video about A-level geography in general, and this will just be like a retrospective kind of review of the course and kind of maybe giving some advice on if you should take this subject. I think this is around the time that people pick what subjects they're doing for A-level, and you can change these subjects like in the summer holiday as well. So this is just sort of a little maybe help in understanding the subject as a whole. Yes. Okay. So what A-level geography entails, and this is specifically about AQA because this is what I've done. So what your grade includes, so 40% of your grade is physical geography, where it is mandatory that you do water and carbon cycles, and then either, sadly you won't be able to choose this, your school will choose this for you. Either you could do hot desert systems and landscapes, or coastal system and landscapes, or glacial systems and landscapes. So one of the three is chosen. And then sort of, because there's like an ABC kind of thing. So there's three, like in your exam. So for section A, as I said, it's water and carbon. And then section B is those system landscapes. And then section C is either you do hazards or ecosystems under stress. So then for your next exam, because you only have 2 exams for this subject, but are both 2.5 hours. So 40% is human geography, where you have to do global system and global governance, and you need to do changing places. And then your school can choose to either do contemporary urban environments, population the environment, or resource security. So again, the ABC kind of thing. So everyone does global system and global governance, and then like the B section, I guess, is changing places, and then C is those options. And then, if you haven't ever done one before, you have to do an NEA, which is a non-exam assessment, and that is worth 20% of your grade, which includes geography, fieldwork, investigation, and geographical skills. So, the NEA. As AQA state, it's the students complete an individual investigation which must include data collected in the field. The individual investigation must be based on a question or issue defined and developed by the student relating to any part of the specification content. So this is, that's what happens when you do the NEA. I'm kidding. So in terms of this NEA, it's approximately a 3,000 to 4,000 word essay, where in my school we started in June of year 12 and we ended in around February of year 13. And this depends on your school. Like they could start in September of year 13, which would be treacherous. That would be horrible if they do that, because that's all your UCAS stuff. But they might do that. And then I think the deadline is around April, May. Like, I don't know if I'm mixing up with the CPAC for science, but I think it's around then where they have to submit it. I think it's around beginning of May. I think. So they could make you start in like January and finish in May or something along those lines. But if you do have it like me where you started in June of year 12, then please spend your summer doing your investigation. That's what I did. And in terms of my NEA, I did get 60 out of 60, which I'm extremely proud of. And I've made a video about the NEA and sort of a breakdown of it if you want to watch that. But yes, and probably the main reason for why I got that 60 out of 60 was because I did my investigation in the summer holidays, and I was actually able to sort of get everything done. I read all my papers and blah blah. And another thing about the NEA, which sadly my year group did not get, we just went to a local park. Oh well. You get a week of mandatory residential to learn these geographical techniques. So you could, for example, going to, I don't know, some place in like, I don't know, Wales or something for a week with your teachers and your classmates. But like whatever it is, you have that kind of week away from school. So if you honestly, that was a big thing for me. I really wanted to, and it was kind of annoying because when I was meant to have this stuff scheduled, we had a work experience, so I actually couldn't do a lot of the like human geography things that we were meant to do. I only joined like 2 out of the week that you get. Anyway, yeah, so I was kind of ashamed because they did it in the week that we had work experience, which was just kind of odd. I don't know why they would choose that. Anyway, so my experience. So I overall, love geography, so I obviously was going to choose geography. That was like my kind of number one, like, yes, I'm doing this. So I'm a bit biased. I really enjoyed it and I found it interesting, of course. And kind of to go sort of forward with it, I do have an offer for geography that I'm going to be going to this year if I haven't failed my exams. I got it last year and then I had to defer it, and now I've actually done my exams. So I've gone through the treacherous hell of exams, and unfortunately, I was part of the the unfortunate crowd of Excel maths A level this year that has even been on the news. Massive petition. I sadly had to sit that paper, and yes, I was very confused. So in terms of the NEA, I really enjoyed it and I absolutely geeked out on it. And I know a lot of people hated it. Some people used AI, which is very bad, and you should not do that. Do not use AI. But yeah, so a lot of people did not like it, and some people were kind of maybe a little bit shocked by having to do an NEA. It is several months of hard work. There is a lot of writing. I'd say it is kind of similar to doing an EPQ. If you've done an EPQ before, you'll be absolutely fine in doing this. They are very, 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 very similar. But you do not have to do a presentation, which is really good. So in terms of like kind of other parts of the experience that are not so positive, that there is a lot of content to know and you'll be expected to know for the exam, because in the exam they could ask anything. I mean, we had the question this year of estuary landforms or something like that. It's like that's such a niche part of any case study. That was a bad question, but overall, like, they could ask sort of anything, and you need to have, like, at least in your pocket some statistics. And overall, in the exam, having to write 3 essays that are worth 20 marks is hard and it is tiring, and then having obviously, well, there's 120 marks in general, with half of those, gosh, are just essays. So yeah, it is a lot, and there's a lot of exam technique that is hard to like carry through into your exam when you're so stressed and trying to remember every single bit of knowledge that you've studied in 2 years. For me, it was over 3 years, which was just painful, but yeah. So should you? If you are passionate about geography, then I'd say yes. And if you need it for university, then definitely. Honestly, my kind of thing is, like, I really wanted to do English, but unfortunately for university, I did have to have the science. And then because I did physics, as my science. I had to do maths. So unfortunately I couldn't do what I wanted to do, but I did get, I've studied the subject to go into university. And I mean, the thing about university is that you can take foundation years and all of this, and that is like totally fair. Do I think it could be easier if you pick the subject that you'd like to do first? Like, and this obviously can change. You can change it. Like, I originally wanted to do geophysics, but I have changed it to geography because I felt like I had to be loyal to the subject. But also because I just didn't want to do more physics, which kind of changes now. I do like physics. Yeah. So in terms of university, if you need a university, then yes, of course. And if you enjoy coursework and have the ability to go out and do field work in your local area, then yes. For me, I lived in an area which had the River Avon going through it, I did my NEA about the River Avon. So that was good. If you live in like a beach area, coastal area, whatever, then totally like you can do that kind of NEA. I really want to do a coastal one because I love coasts so much. But unfortunately, I kind of live in the Midlands, so not much coasts around here. So some like kind of drawbacky-esque kind of things. So if you do not like essay writing, then no. If you're more of a kind of mathsy, there are a little bit of maths. There's like the tiniest bit of maths. But if you don't like essay writing, if you get exhausted by writing essays constantly, I've already got 2 subjects that are essay. I don't know the difference between like other essay subjects as I've only done one, but I'd consider if you want to do an essay subject. Who is beeping? And why are you beeping? There's literally nothing going on here. A tiny little village. Why are you beeping? Anyway. So, if you do not actually care for geography and want it as a filler subject, I would heavily reconsider if this is the right filler subject, as it does take a chunk of memory and time. Like, I think memory probably the most. I mean, I'm not comparing it to like biology because I did not do biology and I've heard biology is a heck of a load of memory stuff, but I've had certain people in my class, and I'm thinking mainly of when I was in like year 12 and stuff, because year 13, well, it's kind of a rocky situation, but essentially, I've had several people in my class who I'm not sure they like geography, and all I heard them do is complain and get not so good grades. So, question mark if you want geography as a filler subject. But in general, like, geography is a multidisciplinary subject and will come useful in any subject you do. Economics, I feel like the globalization stuff would definitely come in. Psychology, a lot of changing places is surprisingly pretty psychological, which is actually interesting. And other things that I've talked to my friends and stuff about. Maths, honestly, in maths you have the large data set. I know some people got triggered by that, but yes, you have the large data set, and that is pretty geography-esque, even though it's a tiny little part of statistics. Like, there are some stuff, and like, when you are doing your NEA, there is some maths you're going to have to do, some statistical tests and stuff. And in the sciences as well, like, are there some parallels with geography and physics? I'd say definitely, because I like both subjects and I like geography. So, and in other subjects, like, I'm guessing yes. I think probably more geography at university I'm guessing is going to be a lot more of kind of meshing these three sciences with geography, which I'm kind of scared of because I kind of don't want to do chemistry, but whatever. And then other subjects, I'm guessing. So it is worthwhile. Like, it is a good subject to do. Like, don't get me wrong, but if you don't care for it, because there are some people who are geography haters, I don't understand you, but okay. There are some people that hate geography. So if you really have no other options to do, I just wouldn't pick geography in that pretense, because it is a pretty, like, it will take a hefty amount of your time just because of how much there is to know. And then, like, hindsight, when I look at it sort of now when I've finished the course, was there as much things to remember? I guess not. But compared to GCSE, most definitely. Like, the amount of case studies you need to remember for A level is shocking. And the case studies are hefty. Like, if you think of, like, there's an Antarctica case study in globalization, and it is one of my favourites, but gosh, do you need to know a lot. But I do enjoy it, so. Okay, so if you do decide to pick geography, I'm very happy for you. And I have some case study videos on this channel. And those are the ones I've studied. So I've studied water and carbon, obviously. I've done coasts and hazards. And then globalization, yes. Changing places, yes. And I've done population and the environment. And I am thinking of sort of branching out and doing some other case studies from other topics that I haven't done. So you'd need to let me know which ones to do, because I'm gonna kind of be in like unfamiliar territory, but I would really like to sort of help as many people out as I can. And yeah, I hope you do pick it if it's worthwhile. If you're doing it as a filler subject, highly discouraged. No, I'm joking. So yeah, bye everyone.